Hey, welcome. I'm Gentille with the G Spot with Gentille. Today I have my really good friend Alex with me, and we're going to talk about, I don't know what we're going to talk about. Alex, what are we going to talk about today?
We want to talk about what everybody wants to talk about.
Okay.
Sex, drugs, relationships. What
Yeah,
do we
no
know?
rock and roll, really, right? Yeah.
Not right now. I mean, I don't play music, but yeah, mostly sex, drugs, relationships.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
Okay, sounds
Yeah.
good. So
Yeah, what makes good sex? Like, I want to talk about that.
Okay, yeah, I think so. Dating right now
Dating.
in 2021,
Yeah.
2020, 2021,
Yep.
which is a weird time, and
Very-
sex, obviously,
yes,
right?
Of course.
Okay, so tell me some stuff. I mean, what's going on? I mean, how is your life? How is dating? What are you seeing? What are men doing?
Right. Well, oh, geez. Okay, loaded question, but.
Start with one.
Yeah,
I've been
like-
quarantined for about a year.
I know.
So I haven't left my house really in a year.
Yes, and I'm in a long-term relationship. So my question for those people who are actually dating is, how are they treating this pandemic, right? I mean, if they're going and they're swiping,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh, yes, online dating.
online dating. Like, so in addition to having, coffee or dinner, I mean, are you being intimate? Do you have to worry about like, hey, have you been, have you tested for COVID or not? Or, things like that. Like, how does that work?
That's a loaded question to me
Yeah.
too, because honestly, I am single, but I haven't been anywhere on any dates, and I'm not online either.
Yeah, me
So,
neither.
okay,
Yeah.
well, great.
Yeah.
This is a great topic because we know all about this.
No,
Well,
but I'm curious.
Okay,
so
well let's
yeah.
let's swing it a different way.
Okay.
Let's talk about what we do know, which is being single and dating has been tough still, right? But now with the pandemic and not being able to maybe meet people, it's going to be even harder. I tried a little bit of that online dating.
Okay.
Just a little bit, and honestly, I didn't even do it. My girlfriends did it for me.
Okay, so you kind of had like a handler.
I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
I might try if I was that way. That's how I would want to do it.
Yeah.
Somebody who can kind of like sift through and
Yes.
kind of test the waters.
Yes.
Okay, how
Well,
did
my
it work
girlfriends
out?
did it, but
Okay.
they were so frustrated as well because obviously, they were asking the guys a whole bunch of questions, and they're like, okay, setting up to meet me, but then they're like, okay, Gentille, we need you, to touch base with these guys. I'm like, well, I really don't want to do that either. So you know
Right.
what? Why don't you guys just set it up for me?
Right.
Tell me where to go, what time I would show up, but that hasn't really happened either.
Okay. I mean, these have to be really good girlfriends, by the way.
they
Do
are.
they to understand, right, kind of what your type is and who you might like?
Yes.
I mean, that's a whole different level of trust.
Dating in pandemic right now, and how we can lead it up to what a great sex, or at least great sex,
Right.
before
A
it gets to a
connection.
relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what do we
I
do?
mean,
It's
Right, because there's two schools of thought, right? I mean, either you hit it off with somebody right away, although when
Even
you meet,
online.
even online,
Yeah.
But then when you go, unless you're somewhere like a park, if you meet up somewhere, initially it's that first like mask sort of thing, and even now it's like even the intimacy of at the end of a date where you would normally maybe kiss somebody.
Right.
I mean, is there hesitation with that right now?
I
mean,
honestly, and I'm going to be honest with this. Even during this whole pandemic thing, if I didn't have to wear my mask, I
right,
didn't.
Right, I'm the
'Cause
same
I
way.
think it's all bullshit anyways, but we'll get into that on a
Right.
different topic, maybe another day, but we're not going to talk about that today. But yes, if I have a connection with someone, it's usually attraction.
Yes.
Right? The first step, the first part is you meet someone, regardless of what they're wearing,
Right.
it's attraction.
Right.
Right? If you don't
Right,
have
their
that,
pheromones, the energy that you're feeling, the connection.
Exactly.
Yeah,
if you don't have that, you can't move forward.
Right.
Period.
Period.
Now, okay, so now what happens when you do meet that person and you have that attraction and you maybe move forward a little bit, okay? I mean, first date. Have you ever had sex on the first date, Alex?
So I have, but it's not what I like to do. I'm not that. I'm, and I don't judge. I'm not that casual sex kind of person. I like to establish a little bit more. There has to be a little bit more holistically that goes into it. Not just a physical connection. I have to have a mental connection as well. It has to go deeper than that for me to really get into that spot where if I'm going to have some great sex,
Yeah.
it has to just be beyond just physical.
Oh, got
Yeah.
it.
I mean,
got
it often starts with physical, but
Sure.
I like to know that somebody's, intelligent and fun and
Right.
funny. there's a few things that goes into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you haven't had sex on the first date then, really?
No, I have.
Oh, you
I
have?
have before. It's just not
Do
my.
you,
Yeah.
do you think because they were charming, or maybe they said the right things? Because that's what's happened to me.
Right.
I've definitely have had sex on the first date.
Right.
Not many.
Right.
You know?
Same. Yeah.
But the
same.
ones that I did have sex on the first date with became actually an actual boyfriend. It's only been in the last maybe 2-3 years that someone I had sex with on the first date didn't turn out to be a boyfriend. But in my past,
Yes.
the ones that I did have sex on the first date,
Yeah.
turned out to be long term, right?
And yeah, I mean, again, it didn't happen often, so
Yeah.
I'd say like half and half.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, yeah. Maybe because we didn't really hit it off,
Okay.
and it was kind of like, okay, well, it wasn't really all that it was cracked up to be.
Right.
And then the other half where it's like, but I know girlfriends who have, and
Yeah.
then they've gone on to marry their significant others. So, it's different for everybody.
It is. But
Yeah.
okay, so for you, since you don't have sex on the first date usually,
Right.
what does it take to, what is that road for you leading up to great sex and a
Right.
great relationship? Tell me about that.
Kind of like an extended foreplay is what, right? So,
Okay.
first, absolutely has to be. I have to see that you've taken care of yourself physically. I do exercise. I take care of myself. I make sure that I'm, eating healthy, I have fun, all that good stuff. So in addition to being physically attracted to somebody, I also want to know that they have some intelligence up there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really actually important. I like a really smart guy.
So intelligent conversations,
Yes.
right, would
Some-
lead up to that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I love intelligent conversations.
Yes.
But at the same time, you kind of have to be humble about it. I don't want somebody who's going to be an intellectual snob. That turns me off, right? That's another form of hubris, like a conceited sort of way. That's going to turn me off. So there's that fine balance of talk to me, tell me kind of your past experiences.
Right.
Tell me that if we're talking about a subject that you know about that,
Yeah.
or if you've traveled and you know history.
Okay.
I really get into that.
That turns you on a little
Yeah,
bit. Okay.
yeah, and make
So-
me laugh along the way. I
Okay.
like to laugh.
And I think everyone's love language, if you will, is a little bit different, right?
Right,
So,
yeah.
I mean, after that initial meeting and you go on a first date and, you have great intelligent conversation.
Right.
What then? I mean, gift giving, what do you like to see a man do after that?
Well, so it doesn't have to be over the top necessarily. It just has to be thoughtful. Something that has shown me that you've listened to what we've been talking about.
Yes.
So a small token that might be significant, reflecting, something we've talked about. And then show me that, the time that we are together it was somewhat meaningful. So you've planned something, whether it's, outdoorsy. I mean, I like to hike, or a favorite. I mean, a favorite restaurant's like cliche, truly, because it's not all about that. But
Sure.
something like I love to fly, so let's go look at, let's go to the airport. Let's look at airplanes taking off, or
Yeah.
something like that. Those are the little things that show that
you're
we've connected. Yeah,
engaging,
and
yes.
it again doesn't mean that I expect this person to spend an enormous amount of money.
What?
It's
No
not that.
diamond necklace
Yeah,
on
no,
the first date?
No,
Okay,
actually,
that's
no.
What I want, I think,
No, I'm gonna run the other way. No, maybe I'm not saying not down the line.
That may
Let
get
me
you
be
a second date.
Yeah,
Bring
yeah.
the diamond necklace, and that may get you
I'll
a
tell you
second date.
my dream car, right? Yeah, but no, not right off the bat. It's, I'm gonna pace myself.
Okay, I'm just
What about
kidding.
you?
I'm just kidding.
What about you?
It's been. Yeah, I'm very similar to you, where, I do value that, like when guys listen, to you and they really take in what you like, and they actually do it. So yes, that small token of coming over with flowers or, picking, it's small.
Small, yeah.
But it means quite a bit,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but see, on the respect of dating, I'm probably a little more like a man.
Okay. How so?
In a way where, I don't need all those things anyways, but do I appreciate it? Absolutely.
Right.
Yes, I do appreciate it. And it would, for me, if a man does a big thing that might distinguish you
Okay.
different from all the other men,
Okay.
depending
Sure.
on what it is, obviously, right?
Right.
And most of my life, I've had men, buy a lot of expensive and nice things for me, which I love. Trust me.
Right.
I don't mind it at all. But
Sure.
but you're right in that just because they're doing certain things doesn't mean that you're going to actually fall in love with them.
Right.
Right.
So what about like small things? Opening doors.
Yeah.
Right? Or pulling out your chair at a
Yes.
restaurant.
Yes.
Things
Or
like
opening,
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you go to a gas station and they go in, they're going to help, right? They're going to, oh, okay. Of course, they know you know how to pump your own gas.
Right.
But hey, I'm with you. Let me do that for you.
Yes.
Those are small little things that I know I can do, but it's a nice little gesture.
True.
I like those things.
Yeah.
But I think it's a give and take that
is.
way. And again, doesn't need to be expensive necessarily. There's a time and a place for that. Let's just say it's all
Right.
appreciated, but again, leading up to, again, what makes a great date or leading up to, right?
But that's if you actually kind of like him.
Right.
Because if you don't like that person,
Yeah.
well, no, not that you don't like him. They could be a really good person, and you may like them, but you may not be attracted to them.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
The same way now. I know
Yes.
men are usually more attracted to women than we women are attracted to men, as far as numbers wise.
Yes. Yeah.
So sometimes as a woman, I'm gonna have to, and I'm gonna admit this. We hang out, or might even go out with men. Not necessarily because we're attracted to you, in that way, but because you're a good person, and maybe you can provide certain things anyways, or you do certain things. Now, the things that you do will determine how long you actually hang out with certain girls or certain
okay.
types of girls,
Okay.
right?
Yes, but all right. So this is a slippery slope.
So we're on a different topic.
Yeah. No, so like I'm thinking, if you are early on in your dating, right?
Yeah.
You're thinking about perhaps security and marriage and children, things like that. I feel like that definitely would play a larger part into what you just said. I mean
Yes. But that can get you in trouble, you see.
It can. Absolutely.
Yes, as a woman.
Absolutely.
If you're going on a date looking for those things,
Yes.
and sometimes it may not be the guy that you may be totally attracted to,
Right.
but because he has these certain things,
Right.
you're
He checks the
willing-
boxes.
Yes,
Yep.
you're willing to go forward with it.
Yes. And I would say that is, be careful. You're you run the risk of maybe settling, So again, that's a whole different thing. But if we're going to talk about okay, what makes a good date,
Yes.
a good relationship,
And
getting into
leading up
good
to good
sex,
sex.
and of
Okay.
course maybe a good relationship, sure.
Yeah.
But whether we're gonna have such an amazing first
Yes.
date
Yeah.
that it's going to lead to
Yes.
amazing sex the first time, okay. Well, that's like, are we going to a concert? Are we going
Right,
to, right? Are we going to go off somewhere that you've been wanting to go? That's one thing versus okay, are we going to do this long? Not long, but maybe 3, was it 3 dates? What is the waiting period that
I think it's
anymore?
different for everyone.
Yeah.
I think it's a man trying to figure out how to moisten our loins.
Or did you say moist?
What are the men
Moist.
doing that's going to make our loins moist?
yes.
Right? Because, honestly,
Yeah.
I think most men do certain things, just to get there.
Sure.
That usually is the first step. Now, after that, then we'll figure out if they really, really like you and they want to stay in the relationship, or if
Right.
it's just for that, which is
Yes,
fine.
right.
I have nothing against great sex.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
even men doing stuff to get there, that's okay too. But at least you
Right.
made that effort to
Right.
get this fucking pussy.
Right.
So it's okay.
Right.
I might
Right.
give you that prize there, because
yes.
you worked so hard to
Yes,
get there.
I might wear that lacy thong,
Yeah,
absolutely. So,
but
okay.
that's the point. The point is, okay, what do these guys have to do to get to the part where, because obviously they're trying to get in the pussy.
Right.
So what are the correct things that these
Right.
men need to do to get to the pussy?
That is the $100 million question.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
okay.
that's what I'm saying.
So
Yeah, great dinner, figure out things, listen to us and see what we like, suggesting restaurants or whatever, taking us to a fancy date and even buying us things. Yeah, that all works, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's not a necessity. Like,
Yeah.
I really want to be clear that like the expensive dinner is not a necessity. Like,
Yeah.
if we have that initial, connection,
Yes.
then again, it could be a hike, it could be a picnic, it could be creative. Let's be creative. Like,
Yeah.
your creativity is also very, if you show me that you're creative and you're thoughtful that way, that's a turn on. Show me that I'll do the same,
Yeah.
right? I'll make that effort as well. It's a give and take. And so at the end of that, right, then it's not just about, and I hate to put it this bluntly. I saw this somewhere. Masturbating with somebody else's body, right?
Okay.
That's, sometimes I feel like that's what, it is. Like, if you're just like, oh, you're going to get with somebody, I'm going to get to where I need to get to using your body, versus that whole like connection physically
Yes.
with your energy and everything. And we're really going to have that powerful connection because
Right.
we're like exchanging energy.
Sure.
That's on a different level. Now we're talking about two different things.
That we are talking about two different things, because I can guarantee you that most men out there just want that first part that you talked about,
masturbating
right?
with
And masturbating with someone
with
else's body.
Yes.
And that's okay too with some women or most of us women.
Right.
And for us, it's not that we connect with everyone every single time anyways,
Right.
as well.
No.
So we're almost similar to men.
Yeah. I would agree.
Yeah.
Especially now. I think now I love that women are more empowered to acknowledge their sexuality.
Yes.
Honestly. I mean, growing up in a very strict Catholic upbringing, we were not allowed to be enjoying sex. And I'm like, wow. I knew early on that I enjoyed my sexuality.
Yes.
I just wasn't allowed to enjoy it. And
I'm the same
now
way.
I'm like, I'm like, hey, I like this, and let's talk about like what's going to make it like give and take. Let's talk about what's pleasurable, what I find sexy, what we can enjoy together.
Sure.
Because I think that when you talk about it together and you can enjoy it together, that's when you're getting the most pleasure out of it, instead of it being so taboo or one-sided. Like, I'm not just here for your pleasure. Like, let's
And
talk
vice
about
versa, right?
yeah, it's a give and take. Absolutely.
But in today's society and dating, that's what I've seen a lot of, where people just kind of, oh, this is what I want, and this, but they're not expressing it. They're not telling you that's what they want. They're just doing it. Right?
Yeah, and well, that's going to lead. You mean like doing it but not talking about it and leading to frustration, like like a first date.
They're getting their gratification all by themselves.
Yes.
Like masturbating with that other person's body, basically. That's what I'm seeing in this dating world right now, which is a little bit, which is kind of sad, but maybe it's a younger generation. I don't know. Is it not necessarily younger, right?
Well,
the older guys are the same way.
Yeah, I mean, because there's two schools of thought. I mean, we're complicated, right? Women's bodies are very complicated. Okay, not for nothing, and I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty good at knowing what makes me feel good.
Sure.
Like, I am now okay with that. And so if I can tell you, my partner, what makes me feel good, and what makes me feel good one day may not work the next day. That's how complicated it is.
We are complicated.
Right? Yeah.
And I think these men, especially nowadays, realize that. So it's such a challenge for them that I think most men don't even want to go there.
Right.
That's why they're just getting their instant gratification
Yeah.
from whatever they can online, hookers, whatever like that, because they don't want to spend that time to get to know you and to actually focus that hard to get you off.
And honestly,
this is what's frustrating.
Right? Honestly, though, if you've connected with me, not only physically and intellectually, and somewhat emotionally, it does not take that much, really, to get me to my happy place.
That's true.
I'm going to tell you, like, I'm going to go pretty quick. Really.
That is actually a good pointer. That's a good hint right there, men. Did you hear what she just said? Okay, if you connect with us, spiritually, and you actually take the time to get to know us and actually really connect with us, and it's not just sex for you, we can reciprocate and actually come like
Right.
even
Yes.
on a different level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my problem too.
Yeah.
Most of the guys that I have been with in at least the last few years has been like that. It's just been sex.
Right.
And it's not anything too emotional or too attached.
Right.
And it's kind of like, okay, well, and I become more of a man in that way myself, where I'm
Sure.
like, you know what? Okay, well, I'm just going to have sex with you.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Now, and I haven't really come either because
Yeah.
of that.
And so you leave. I mean, honestly, if I leave disappointed, like if I leave disappointed, that doesn't bode well for you as my partner. Like
Yes.
I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
clearly this was one-sided, and that tells me perhaps I need to be like, are you? Is my partner selfish that way? You know, it has to be reciprocal, especially in bed.
Especially if you're in a relationship.
Well,
That
yeah, that
definitely
too. I
needs-
mean, and as I'll admit, I'm okay with saying I'm a sexual person, but you just can't always go in, right? Like as much as I'm going to enjoy or be in that spot,
Right.
you just can't go to that spot. Like
Right.
you have to take, you know, a moment to connect with me on a different level,
Right.
you know, and I'm not talking like 30 minutes. I mean, we could just be, you know,
It's like 5 minutes.
5 minutes,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
something,
yeah.
a little foreplay even,
little
you know,
foreplay,
just
a little
something.
warm-up, just a little bit,
just
right?
a little, before just kind of going right in for it.
Right.
That just doesn't, that's a turn off. So,
So okay, so I think that's the point we're making tonight. is
take 5 minutes at least.
take a little
Listen.
bit of time, listen,
Yes.
you know, do that foreplay. Trust me, you will be so much happier.
So, okay.
Take your time, all right? Great. Oh, that was good.
Well, if you have any questions, right, bring them on in.
If you have any questions, concerns, you know, comments, you know, why don't you just comment below and let me know, you know,
Anything
what
else
think.
you want to know? Anything else we can answer for you?
Exactly.
Don't be shy.
So, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, you know, with this, you know, amazing topic, you know.
Sex.
Sex. We love sex, right? So, you know, be sure to follow, to like the video, and if, you know, you have any thoughts or anything that you want to hear on the show, please comment below. Thank you for joining me at the G Spot with Gentille.